Up with the 35th Engineer Brigade, Missouri in Kuwait. This one's for you. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and tonight from Busch Stadium, the Cardinals look to inch closer in the wild card race, beginning play tonight just one game out. And with Rick Horton, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball and our always very special and fun telecast. This one's for you. The Cardinals are playing very, very well.
Yeah, it'll be fun tonight, but it's been fun the first two games of this series, and a lot of the fun came from the bottom of the order for St. Louis. It began with John Gant, the pitcher. First major league hit, and it was a big fly. He got the Cardinals on the board. In fact, all RBIs came from the bottom of the lineup. Colton Wong, a two-run double. That came in the fourth. Solo shot in the sixth. RBI by Bader. Again, all RBIs at the bottom of the order. The Cardinals continue to swing the bat.
That means Colton Wong, he's at second base tonight, red hot in that Cardinal lineup. We head over to Ballpark Village. The folks in the studio, they'll take a closer look at Colton Wong. Baseball, this one's for you, coming up. Back in St. Louis and Busch Stadium. Our annual This One's For You telecast on Fox Sports Midwest. Tonight's starter, the tall lefty Austin Gomber for the St. Louis Cardinals. His last start, a win against Kansas City. 5 innings, 4 hits, walked 1, struck out 3. Incorporating the cutter, it's been magnificent for him in his starts. Such a special night. This One's For You on Fox Sports Midwest. Back in St. Louis and Busch Stadium. Our annual This One's For You telecast on Fox Sports Midwest. Tonight's starter, the tall lefty Austin Gomber for the St. Louis Cardinals. His last start, a win against Kansas City. 5 innings, 4 hits, walked 1, struck out 3. Incorporating the cutter, it's been magnificent for him in his starts. Such a special night. This One's For You on Fox Sports Midwest. 35th Engineer Brigade at USO Camp Buring, Kuwait. Hundreds of family and friends at Busch Stadium in Section 268 here at the ballpark. And along with Rick Horton and Erica Weston, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Muggy 75 degrees here in St. Louis. They're the troops in Kuwait. Their annual This One's For You. It is 3:15 a.m. in Kuwait, 7:15 Central Time here in St. Louis. And Austin Gomber gets the call.
And let's hope the Cardinals put on a show for our servicemen and women, and they have been doing that lately. Austin Gomber making his 4th start. The Cardinals rotation has been good. The bats have been alive, and the bullpen has been sharp.
The Cardinals 1 game out in the wild card. They are 4 out in the NL Central. A look at the lineup. Turner, Soto, Rendon, then Harper, who's homered in both games of this series. Zimmerman, Murphy, Taylor, Keyboom, and Jeremy Hellickson on the mound for Washington, batting 9th. Home plate umpires DJ Rayburn, Adrian Johnson at first base, Mike Carlson, the crew chief, he's at second. Trip Gibson is down at third. The umpires tonight, and away we go with This One's For You. And a rainbow here at the ballpark. We had a hard rain about an hour ago. Field is in condition and ready to play.
You always think about a rainbow as a sign of hope and promise, and very fitting that we have it on our broadcast tonight.
From our vantage point, right above the arch.
Yeah, it's perfect.
The Gateway City. Quickly, 0-2 on Trey Turner at the top of their lineup. Your thoughts thus far on Austin Gomber in the Cardinals rotation?
Well, I like the fact that he has come up to the big leagues ready, and he's learning and he's improving. All of that. Came up, had some trouble against left-handed batters initially, then he's learned the slider.
And he went. It's a strikeout.
Just one good young pitcher after another for the Cardinals here in the second half. It's been fun to watch. That's the fastball up in the zone, couldn't lay off. He'll throw the fastball up, and he's got the big hook. That's, you know, you think Wainwright from the left side a little bit, and he's got that strong curveball. When he's ahead of batters, Dan, he's been almost unhittable. Does have a few too many walks, but overall very happy with what he's doing.
It's Juan Soto, and there's some of that young pitching. John Gant there on the right picked up the win in game 2 and also hit a home run. Good fastball at 93 to Soto. He hit an opposite field home run game 1 of this series. Really, though, the story around baseball recently has been Ronald Acuna, the Atlanta Braves, and he was hit by a pitch, the first pitch of the game, the Marlins and the Braves tonight. Bench is cleared. Jose Urena, the starter of the Marlins, was ejected. Some fireworks in Dixie.
There was a nice little meeting on the mound of both clubs yesterday with the Dodgers and the Giants, too. Not the first time that's happened between those two teams.
Nasty, nasty rivalry between those two. Ooh, Gomber thought he had a called third strike. You mentioned it. It is a nasty hook that he's got. Very good breaking ball.
Sometimes you fool not only the batter, but the umpire.
There's a check swing. Dodgers, by the way, they have dropped 5 straight. Their bullpen primarily has been the culprit. We'll see LA next week at Dodger Stadium. There's a look at Dave Martinez, first-year manager of the Washington Nationals. And the 2-2 pitch to Soto.
And for those who haven't had a chance to see Soto, including our servicemen and women that are tuned in and watching, he is one of the best young players in the game. You talked about Acuna, but between Acuna and Soto at the plate. They may be the elite rookies in the National League this year. This guy can play.
Doesn't get the call there either. A little bit unusual for a young player. This young man, 19. 54 walks to 59 strikeouts. So you certainly like that a lot. Three-two pitch and a grounder hit to Colton Wong. 2 away. The Cardinals, in just about every facet of their game, it is improved. That includes their defense around the horn. Ozuna, Bader, and Martinez. Jerko, DeYoung, Wong, and Carpenter on the infield. Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Ali Marmol on the left, Jose Oquendo on the right. Always working with the infielders on positioning and a lot of long hours before. You ever see our first pitch night after night? Anthony Rendon hitting .292, 16 home runs. He's driven in 58.
It's really extraordinary to think about what happens from 1 o'clock till 7 o'clock. I mean, at 7 o'clock Central Time, we're showing you the product. But there's a lot of work from 1 to 7 in the film room, on the field. Steven Strasburg was throwing the simulated game today on the field for the Nationals. There was defensive work going on. There's hitting in the cage. There's studying stats, all kinds of things happening. And one thing happening now is we've got a really small strike zone.
3-1 the count. Full count on Rendon. Outfield deep and straight away. Out of play. Everywhere I went around town today, people talking about Mike Schilt, the Cardinals winning baseball, cleaned up defense, exciting play. Fans are back in. They're on board. And why not? Here's a 3-2. And he walked him. So a 2-out walk. And it brings in Bryce Harper, who is homered in back-to-back games, and last night was number 30, just clearing the wall in the corner and left. That was the curveball, game 1, and last night, opposite field.
That one just sneaking over the wall, but that's the opposite field power of Harper. Harper, when you think Harper's second half, think of Carpenter's second half. Not quite as dramatic as Matt Carpenter's, but at one point he was flirting with hitting under 200. Harper was as good as he is, but he is on a tear.
Runner at first, Anthony Rendon. The loss last night, the Nationals back to 500 at 60-60. 8 games out in the division. On the ground to Colton Wong. No damage done. Gomber strands a runner. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. This morning, American military personnel serving overseas watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome to those in countries around the world aboard naval ships at sea, and thank you so very much for your service. Annual This One's for You. 4 of these soldiers were part of the 2014 This One's for You. The 220 Engineer Battalion was in Afghanistan. Tonight they're in Kuwait. 35th Engineer Brigade, Missouri Army National Guard. Take a look at the Cardinal lineup tonight. Carpenter, Molina, and Martinez. Ozuna, DeYoung, Jerko, Wong, Bader, and Gomber. Against Jeremy Hellickson. 5-2 in 17 starts.
He was the former Rookie of the Year in the American League. He came up with Tampa Bay in 2011 and had 2 outstanding seasons back-to-back, top 10 in the American League in earned run average. He won a Gold Glove one of those first 2 seasons. He was a bright young pitcher in baseball and then just ran into a wall the next year. ERA close to 5. Really has not gone back to the guy that we saw those first 2 seasons in the big league.
A ball and a strike on Carpenter. 33 home runs for the Cardinal leadoff man. Hard to believe, Rick. This is the 11th Cardinals This One's for You broadcast that we've had on Fox Sports Midwest. The 1-1.
I'm excited that our friends at Camp Buring are so energetic and into this for 3 o'clock in the morning. That's pretty impressive, Dan.
They always get up early, fired up, Cardinal red.
Wait till somebody hits a big fly.
Chance to see maybe some family and friends they haven't had the chance to visit with or FaceTime with since they were deployed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's it out of play. Hellickson, by the way, did not allow a hit in his last outing. He went 5 2/3.
Dave Martinez needs him to go deep into a game. He is really kind of running out of answers for his bullpen at the moment.
And the 1-2 pitch to Carpenter, to the point that after game 1 he was asked about the bullpen, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said essentially, I'm not sure what to do. And the next day they did make a couple of moves in their pen. But to your point, Hellickson, they would love to see him go deep tonight.
Well, they're missing their closer and their secondary closer, and that's unfortunately it sets them up poorly.
That'll carry out to left, and Juan Soto with the catch. Now the concern though for the Nationals is that Hellickson has not gone over 100 pitches in any start this year.
So that may lend itself to the Cardinals being very selective, trying to work the pitch count up. One thing about Hellickson, he's for the most part a strike thrower, does not walk a lot of batters.
Here's Yadier Molina. We were talking with folks with the National Guard prior to our first pitch, and it's not just what they're doing in Kuwait, but what happens here in the United States, in Puerto Rico. As many of them were called into service to help the cleanup efforts in Puerto Rico. And the 1-0 pitch.
So they're involved obviously in any kind of relief effort that takes place here in the States, and that's part of their training. And then there are times where obviously they are asked to go overseas and attached to a specific Army or Air Force unit, and really enjoyed visiting with the men and women representing the National Guard. Very classy, professional people, as you would expect.
Representing the Air Force and the Army combined inside the National Guard. Hellickson facing Yadier Molina, who's making his 23rd consecutive start behind the plate. This is his second longest streak of his career, and it is a baseball record, the amount of consecutive starts at the age of 36.
By a long shot.
It's amazing. And he pulls it foul. As we have heard in the stories over the last decade or so, sometimes serviceman is deployed and does not see the birth of a child. And for the longest time when we did this event, there was no FaceTiming. Cell phones were obsolete. It's very tough to communicate with friends and family. First strikeout for Hellickson. The Nationals defense with Soto, Taylor, and Harper in the outfield. Along the infield, Rendon, Turner, Murphy, and Zimmerman, and Keyboom is behind the plate. Well, a good name for a power hitter.
It sure would. That home run call writes itself.
Sure does.
I don't want to hear you say it.
No, I don't either. Not tonight.
You can say when a Cardinal hits one.
Kaboom.
Right.
Here's Martinez.
You know, you talked about the technology changing our telecast for This One's For You, but the reality is we're still able to provide a communication and a connection with the Cardinal game in the midst of it, which is unique for them, and they're very thankful for it. They're just glowing about how baseball is an important part of many of their lives, and it makes them feel like home. They want to know what's going on. They want to feel what's going on, and that's what we try to provide.
Here's a 1-1 pitch now to Jose Martinez. Big gap in left center. That was impressed upon us time and again in our visit with folks with the National Guard. As we talked about the changes in communication, they brought up your point. They said, well, you guys don't quite understand that our troops want to see a slice of home. They want to see family and friends enjoying themselves. They want to sit back and watch a ball game, be connected back to the life that they'll rejoin hopefully shortly. Here's a 1-2. Two and two the count. With 2 outs and nobody on. Inside corner, just missed. Make you think after watching the strike zone for Gomber and early on for Hellickson, be tough for either pitcher to go deep in this game. Strike zone is incredibly tight.
And I would think that would be advantage Cardinals. Only because the Cardinals bullpen is deeper today.
Here's a 3-2 pitch to Martinez. And a ground ball to second. Daniel Murphy up with it and makes the play. Cardinals go in order. It'll be Zimmerman, Murphy, and Taylor. This One's For You, 2018. Bonnie Brackett, USO Camp Buring Center Manager. And Bonnie, thanks as always for your great service to our country and for helping us do this tonight. What does it mean to the troops?
It's a great way for them to connect with home. I mean, we're out here in an austere location. There's 120-degree plus weather out there. There's no baseball, so they love being able to come into our center and connect with home and see the game at home and see their family.
How often do you get the chance to watch a ball game or some type of sporting event in Kuwait?
We get to see it live or taped from the night before on TV all the time. We have 2 televisions in our center here that are always on AFN and always watching some kind of sport. And we also get to do a lot of programming around live feeds. So it's 3 in the morning, but we still get to watch the game and try to program around that to provide that chance to watch at home.
There's a fly ball into deep right center, backing up Bader to make the catch.
And Bonnie, for those who may not know a lot about the mission of the USO, what can you tell us about what the USO does in a broad sense?
Sure. Our primary mission is to keep all of our U.S. service members connected to family, home, and country. So out here in Kuwait, we have our center that's staffed. We have the chance for people to call home on our phones. They can stay connected through our Wi-Fi. We have programs. We have televisions, the comfy couches, reading to their children at home. So anything we can do to provide that home away from home, that escape from the conditions outside and the missions they're on.
It's interesting when we talk to you folks every year, you always mention the folks here in St. Louis or stateside, where a night like tonight maybe is even more important to them, their family, moms and dads that are here. Is that the case?
I would definitely say so. I mean, once again, we want to keep our service members connected wherever they are around the world to home. And so this is a great chance for us to be able to let them see their families and stay connected, even if it's just on the TV screen.
And Bonnie, for those who are nearing the end of a deployment, speak to how this is a little bit of a re-entry for them to be able to connect to their hometown through the sports team, even through an event like this.
Yeah, so it can be a bit of a rocky transition coming back, and so this is a chance for them to at least start to see. We were talking about grass earlier. They're like, oh, there's grass. So it's a chance for them to start to see that those things that they're going to get used to again as they come back into the States. We provide a little bit of that, but nice chance to see that and transition back in.
There's a ground ball to Colton Wong, and there's 2 away. Bonnie, I'm curious, when we show the family and friends that are in attendance and the children, what is it like for the servicemen and women behind you that are watching the game? How intently are they trying to find some of their loved ones in the stands tonight?
Yeah, so they're on a minute or so delay, but when we have this computer that we're using to film and do the live feed out there, they've really been coming up to look at it and see if they see anyone. And then I can hear people in the background too when they see someone. They're all cheering, and they're very excited to see their loved ones there.
Bonnie, thank you so much for joining us. God bless you. Get back here safely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bonnie Brackett, USO Camp Buring Center Manager. This one's for you. A 1-2-3 inning. Cardinals coming up. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Cardinals home screen icons, features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Tommy, our director, Bill Cochran, our producer, and you'll see many shots from section 268 tonight. There's Marcell Ozuna. So some of the game action that you normally see, we may cut away to that section to make sure our soldiers have a chance to view loved ones and enjoying the experience of coming to the ballpark. Here's a 1-0. Ozuna hits it down the left field line. It is gone inside the foul pole. And it's 1-0 Cardinals on a blast from Marcell Ozuna.
Ozuna has been getting close, Dan, and he gets this one just inside the foul pole down the left field line, and then he has to be ready to remember how to do all those dances because he hadn't had a lot of home runs in the last month, so you might forget the dance step, but he's got it down pat.
And we should tell our troops, if you haven't been able to follow the Cardinals, they've got the line in which they dance in the dugout,
right? The conga line.
And you've also got the salsa,
which is Matt Carpenter's, I guess, daily regimen that came from Adam Wainwright's garden. So first, the conga line. You know, we don't have to explain that. You know what that is. That's just fun. And you'll see players pretending to spoon something out of a dish, and that's the secret sauce of salsa that is enabled Matt Carpenter to go on a tear. And now you're up to speed.
You're up to speed.
And we're chasing the Cubs. Now you're good.
That's hit foul down the right field line and out of play. Paul DeJong had the walk-off home run in game 1 of this series, 13th of the year. You talk about Ozuna, close. DeJong, we were saying that about this time last week, and since then he's been locked in. Should mention it's homemade salsa. The ingredients all put together by Matt Carpenter and Adam Wainwright. Quite tasty, I might add.
And I asked you yesterday if you wanted to try some, and you said,
I don't want to ruin anything what's going on right now. I'm just happy to be up here.
And what's going on right now is a 7-game Cardinal winning streak, 5 straight series wins, 10 games over 500 for the first time since the final game of the season in 2016. There's some positives for you.
3-2 the count on Paul DeJong. Six different players with 6 home runs total in this series, but 6 different players with home runs hit by the Cardinals against the Nationals here in the first 3 games. Colton Wong, a home run last night. Now Ozuna, John Gant, Matt Carpenter, that dramatic home run. Jed Jerko and Paul DeJong. Chops it to third. Rendon slings it over to first for the out. You can tweet at us as well at Fox Sports Midwest. Hashtag Cards for Troops. Post your messages for the troops on Twitter and Instagram. One of my favorite broadcasts of the year. Thank you for doing this. This one's for you. We'll show some of the tweets and the scroll on the screen as we move along. Here's Jed Jerko, taps it foul for his strike. I can't begin to tell you the amount of response I get every year from this telecast. And it might be a week from now getting a letter from somebody in the seats right now, the family. Some of the soldiers have come back and reconnect with us here in the booth. Those that we have visited with. That's out to deep right field. Harper back at the wall and makes the catch.
So we want to encourage people, Dan, and we do get some of that feedback, a lot of that feedback, but we were just encouraged just to share the nice moments and share some of the thoughts and the support of our troops with other people. Retweet what you might see on Fox Sports Midwest. Is send it to some family and friends. Just whatever you can do to kind of add more positives, gratefulness, thankfulness for what our troops do.
Here's Colton Wong with 2 outs. Home run number 8 hit last night. Lines it to short and a bullet hit to Trey Turner. Marcell Ozuna with home run number 14. He's driven in 64 and it's a 1-0 St. Louis lead. His wife Renee and a bunch of others. Kids John, Dominic, Ashley, Kelly, and Elena. What is this like for you seeing your husband here?
It's exciting. It's our anniversary, so we're doing something together.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
10 years, right?
10 years.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys have been busy. 5 kids. You guys are, you got a full house, don't you?
We do.
What's it like seeing your husband on this special night? Because I know you've had a chance to do this before.
You know, it's really neat to be able to do this, and we have our whole family out here, and we're having a really good time.
2014, he was deployed. And Sergeant, I'll bring you into the conversation, a chance to see your loved ones. What's going through your mind right now?
Oh, it's great to be able to do this and see them while I'm over here having a good time. It's really good.
We have some video we want to show you all, and we understand you guys love baseball, and someone had the chance to throw out a first pitch. Is that right?
That's right.
Who was it?
That was John.
John did?
Yeah.
Did you throw a strike? I guess.
They said that's the best pitch they've seen in a long time.
That's awesome. And here it was. Now, was this tonight or in 2014? This is tonight. Awesome. You nailed it. Good job. Were you nervous? A little bit, yeah. When you see your husband and you see the others and you're all connected now in section 268, what's the camaraderie like for family and friends up there watching this?
It's really alive. We're all having a good time. Everybody's enjoying themselves. We're peppy, we're bouncy, we're having fun.
Now, your husband has been deployed 3 different times, correct?
Yes, 3 times.
How do you handle that?
One day at a time.
Yeah.
You just got to take it one day at a time and always plan for the unexpected because you never know.
And who's that young lady over there?
That's Kelly.
Kelly, what's it like seeing Dad there? Exciting for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you seeing a lot of family and friends that are here to support this night too?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ball game is something you guys enjoy, obviously, coming down to Busch Stadium. Yeah. Do you when you talk to the others up in that section, what's the conversation like?
Well, everybody was excited about our signs, and we all had a good laugh over them. And everyone just asked how we're doing, and we're all happy to be together.
What would you tell people that are tuned in tonight about what it's like to be the wife of someone that's over there and you yourself trying to get through it with 5 kids?
I would say it's like being a single parent.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming at times, working and taking care of kids, and you got to work through it and work together, and we make it.
There's a ground ball, and it's a fair ball, and Jerko comes up with an unbelievable play. We're going to let you go back to the seats because I know it's an emotional night for everybody. Get the signs up. We'll get them on TV. Nice job on the first pitch. Well done. Sergeant, thank you for your service. It's a great shot right there. This one's for you, 2018.
That's Mr. Dawson, and he gets a chance to meet Mike Schilt. He was a part of the Buffalo Soldiers in World War II, and he's here at the ballpark today. He got to meet Willie McGee. Favorite players, Ozzie Smith, and he also threw out a first pitch here tonight. We're so grateful to his service in World War II. It was the only integrated Army infantry troop in World War II, and he was a part of that. And he's here tonight, and so glad he could be a part of this One's for You.
I'm going to make a point when we head to Washington to go to the World War II Memorial. Try to do that every time we are there.
Me too.
And every time I've been there, probably 5 or 6 different visits, you do see a World War II veteran. And that was, they're getting older. So, you know.
I feel like I should call him Mr. Dawson, Willie Dawson, full name, and he served 17 months in Italy in the Italy campaign during World War II.
Wow. Harrison Bader at the plate. Home run hit by Ozuna to make it 1-0 Cardinals here in the bottom of the third. And a strike to Bader. 1-2. When Bader leads off an inning, he's hitting .375, and that's third best in all of baseball. And this time a swing and a miss. He is in the Fox Sports Midwest Suite. That is a true hero. The batter, Austin Gomber. And a strike. Again, you can tweet us at FS Midwest and we'll get those messages up. And remember that there are servicemen and women not just in Kuwait but aboard ships at sea all over the world watching this game tonight. Send those well wishes, please. Hashtag Cards for Troops. We had amazing technology in which we were hooked up the Wi-Fi and a computer to have just a slight delay.
Pretty amazing.
For those servicemen and women to visit with us. It's about second and a half, and it used to be about 8 to 10 seconds. So you might ask a question, then all of a sudden a home run's hit and they're trying to answer the question. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike on Matt Carpenter from the camera of Phil Nichols, who, by the way, served our country. Thank you, Phil, for your service. Now working for Fox Sports Midwest. That's his camera, and this night is very special to him, too, isn't it, Phil?
Don't nod your head or the camera will move. I guess he knows that, huh?
Said many times.
He's a pro.
Thank you for your service. One and two the count on Matt Carpenter. Lines it into the glove of the first baseman Ryan Zimmerman. A 10-pitch inning. This one's for you on Fox Sports Midwest. I have no idea what the Our score 1-0. Marcell Ozuna with a solo home run. His 14th of the year. Such a special night for us, and we hope you enjoy the 35th Engineer Brigade at USO Camp Buehring, Kuwait. Here's Juan Soto.
So yes.
And Soto drives it out to Ozuna. 1 pitch, 1 out. Anthony Rendon walked his first time up. I think we've really tried to hit the point very hard tonight in doing these telecasts. The importance of what it means to those that are in attendance here at Busch Stadium. The sons, the daughters, the moms, the dads, brothers and sisters that are here, because we always hear from those deployed. We have a mission. We're busy nonstop, sun up, sun down, and our thoughts are with those that are at home. It's out of our control, and you get those people together. It's very, very special.
Even Fred Bird understands the day, the moment, and the night, and the import of this, the way he's dressed. Yeah, you know, we will have transition later in this game and be more specific about what's going on the field. And of course, we know that a lot of our viewers care about this game. The Cardinals have been playing so well, and you know, it's going to happen, and we'll have our focus there at some point. But the focus one night a year, Dan, is on our servicemen and women. I think that's maybe the epitome of the least we could do.
2-2 the count on Rendon. Mr. Bill Shaw, lifetime diehard Cardinals fan, 97th birthday today. From Hannibal, now living in the Lake of the Ozarks. Served in World War II in Italy with the Air Force Aero Squadron. And a happy birthday. So the second walk issued by Gomber with 1 out here in the top of the 4th, and we check in with Erica.
Hey Dan, I'm joined by Mitzi and David Dell, the family of Major Lance Dell, who was at Camp Buehring in Kuwait. Mitzi, we saw you getting a little emotional. What's going through your mind right now?
Yes, just the matter of fact that we've been apart for this long, and it's just a wonderful opportunity to get to see him or talk to him and just, you know, celebrate this time with everybody else.
He's watching, or he's listening right now. Anything you want to say to your husband?
Yes, that I love him very much, and happy 25th wedding anniversary.
You celebrated yesterday, right?
Yesterday was our 25th, yeah.
Special wedding anniversary gift for you guys to connect in this sort of unique fashion.
Yes, it is. We sure miss him. We can't wait to get him home.
Major, would you like to say something? Happy anniversary.
Oh, you better believe it. Happy anniversary, honey. It's good seeing everyone in the crowd. Tell everybody we said hi.
We sure will. We love you, and you guys hurry up and get home safely.
David, a message to your dad?
We love you, Dad, and we hope you get back soon.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. And Major, thank you for everything that you're doing over there overseas. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan.
Thank you so much, Erica. So a couple of wedding anniversaries being celebrated at the ballpark tonight. Bryce Harper at the plate, 0-2. Left center, Bader, diving catch! Oh, what a play! Harrison Bader robbing Harper in left center.
Is this man heading towards a Gold Glove someday? I think so. Harper can't believe it. Cardinal fans are growing to love it. I know I am. Athleticism, speed, courage.
How good was that? That's why these fans are starting to buy back in. You mentioned the rebranding in season last night of Cardinal baseball.
Rediscovering the Redbirds. And they have rebranded. That's a phrase I said, but it wasn't a phrase. It was some moves. And revamping the bullpen, changing the overall feel for how the game is played, and it's a little bit of a retro feel. Got a little 1985 sprinkled in with a little 2011.
Here's an 0-2 pitch and a base hit into center field. That catch by Bader, though, took the hit away, and it would at least be tied right now, if not a 2-1 game.
I think it would have been tied if he didn't catch it, because it would have gone all the way to the wall, and it would have been a big race. And I think Harper would have made it to third, and it'd be 2-1 Nats at the moment. Some play. Found it interesting talking to our friends that we met before the game with the National Guard representing both the Air Force and the Army in terms of their communications and their planning, talking about their training and how that equates their training and their work as it relates to being an athlete. And they were drawing the analogies we weren't, because it seemed like that's not our business to do it, but they were saying that just so many similarities. In fact, she was an athlete in college, and her chance to serve became her next outlet after her career ended as an athlete. She realized that some of the demands, many of the demands on being a person representing the National Guard were harder than what she dealt with as an athlete. Much harder. But the mental training had helped her.
Here's a 1-1. 1-2 on Daniel Murphy. One ball and 2 strikes, and now time is called. The view from section 268. Hundreds of family and friends, the servicemen and women tonight. And the 1-2 instead now. Gomber wants to connect with Molina with runners in scoring position in his starts. Opposition hitting .210, overall .222 against Austin Gomber. One and 2 the count. That's it out of play. 35th Engineer Brigade, Missouri Army National Guard, stationed at Fort Leonard Wood. Their current deployment began in the fall of 2017. They're hoping soon to be back home. Check swing did not go. Command and control of 2 engineer battalions. Mission, multiple missions, but one of those general engineering. Mobility operations. That pitch in the dirt. And the runner's off with his next pitch, 3-2. The next to Daniel Murphy. Whacks it foul and out of play. Eighth pitch coming up in the plate appearance here for Daniel Murphy. And now the base is loaded. Mentioned that this is our 11th This One's For You telecast. Mike Maddox out to visit with Gomber. His third walk in the ball game. And in 2010, Captain Dell, who we just saw, was a part of This One's For You. And I see a smile coming across the face of Captain Dell. 2010. And Captain, what do you remember about that special night in 2010, 8 years ago?
Hey, Dan, how you doing? It's good to talk to you again.
It's great to hear your voice.
It's the same as getting to do this again. It's awesome what the Cardinals organization and Fox Sports Midwest does for the families.
We talked about it before. After you came back, we had the chance to visit. And what does it mean, in your opinion, to the families that are here in attendance?
Oh, I think it means the world, not just to the families, but the soldiers back here, getting to see them in the stands and everything that y'all do for us. We really appreciate it.
What are the memories that you have from 2010?
Well,
Well, we're going to get back to hopefully Captain Dell. You can understand we're trying to hook up in Kuwait. There might be some technical difficulties at times. And it's 0-2 now on Michael A. Taylor. Captain Dell, I'm sure you can hear me, but your thoughts, hopefully you can get back to us. But what do you remember about 2010?
Hey, Dan, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I got you just fine. 2010, what do you remember?
Well, that's when we were in Afghanistan, and it was good to see the family.
Captain, thank you. We miss you. Come see us when you get back here. Make sure you do it. Captain Dell on This One's For You, 2018. Strikeout for Gomber. It's 1-0. signs that they had made a bunch for the troops in Kuwait, watching early in the morning there as we approach right around 8:30 St. Louis time.
They're just a few words on a sign, but what meaning in those words?
Ball to Yadier Molina. And the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes.
Pretty impressive. Austin Gomber coming up with a pitch when he needed it to get a strikeout with the bases loaded. Just his 3rd strikeout here tonight, but that was huge. The Nationals were poised to get something going. He's allowed just 1 hit. He has walked 3 in 4 innings, but he's been good. This is a tough lineup he's facing.
How about Yadier Molina since the All-Star break? 10 doubles. You say, well, yeah, it's pretty good. Well, it's the most in baseball. 10. And now ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. And a leadoff walk. Jose Martinez grounded out sharply to second base, first time up.
It hasn't been a particularly hot August in St. Louis, and we've had hotter ones. It's been, the temperature's been hot, but not as humid, I would say. But I think the Cardinals winning has as much to do with Yadi being as energetic as he is to be able to play every day. He didn't want to stay out of the fun. I mean, he knows he's part of the fun. He's causing the fun, but he doesn't want to watch the fun. He wants to participate in it.
You never question the effort, the work ethic of Yadier Molina. But to further your point, there are times even with him you see a little extra jump.
Yeah.
He's made some plays this month, hopping from behind home plate to pounce on a ball and make a great defensive play. And we've become accustomed to seeing that. But you're seeing a little jump out of number 4.
Well, if we're all honest, when we look in the mirror, do you have extra jump every day? I mean, you can't be extra every day, otherwise it wouldn't be extra. I mean, it's just some days it's just, man, it just all comes together. And he's had some of those days of late in the midst of playing multiple games in a row. It's just extraordinary what he's doing. And I want to say at his age as if he's ancient, but for a catcher, he kind of is.
Now Harrison Bader may say, now Rick, hold on. I got a lot of extra jump.
Well, talk to me, Harrison, when you're 36.
Good point.
And then talk to me again when you're 59. And you can jump about an inch off the ground.
Yeah.
And call that a jump.
Boy, what a great play he made to Rob Harper in the top half of this inning. 2 balls and 1 strike here for Jose Martinez. Point well taken. Short lead at first by Molina. And a base hit into right field. Second inning StatCast. Powered by AWS.
Big Bear hits it 113.8 miles an hour. Don't try to catch that one. Let it hit a seat first.
And he's coming up after another base hit from Jose Martinez. Martinez now in the month of August hitting .400, 5th best in baseball. That had snapped for Ozuna. 62 plate appearances without a home run. Nobody out. Runners at first and second.
I've been asked a few times this week by people, why does everybody call him the Big Bear? Well, Oso, O-S-O, in Spanish is bear. And you would really pronounce his name in Spanish Osuna. But he says, call me Ozuna. He wants it to sound like a Z.
And he chops it to third. Could be two. And safe at first. Good hustle by Ozuna to get down the line. It's one of those plays, and I'm not sure if you feel this way. Is it better off if Rendon stays back and goes to second?
Or have a different kind of throw to first than the one he had. That was more of an off-balance throw than he needed to make. He could have kicked the bag and take some steps towards first. He has a cannon, and he just kind of flipped it over there, and I just don't think this was the right choice. He steps on the bag, and he actually throws off his opposite foot instead of planting and throwing, and the throw just basically, Ozuna was faster than the throw was. And I know he's got a good arm. I think that was maybe one he'd like to do again. But to your point, 5-4-3 might have worked as well.
And now DeYoung, and runners stay put. We're at the bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Cardinals. If you just joined us, it's our annual This One's For You telecast. 11th time we've done that. Soldiers stationed currently in Kuwait. Family and friends in section 268 here at the ballpark. 35th Engineer Brigade at USO Camp Buring in Kuwait.
I feel like the Cardinals need 1 or 2 big hits in this game. This would be a time to do it.
Got a fastball and fouled it back. DeYoung, speaking of big hits, 7 consecutive games with an extra base hit.
What a difference a few weeks makes. You could imagine the big hit I'm looking for coming from a lot of places. Carpenter, of course. Molina, obviously. DeYoung, you bet. Jerko, yes. Wong, yes. Bader, yes. Different feeling, Dan.
Big time. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Paul DeYoung. This is Monday night on a 3-1 pitch. Sends us home with this home run. The 1-1. Also feel like the Cardinals have a sense that they can strike in any inning, and that includes late. The 2-1 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop.
Speaking of late, the Red Sox just took a 4-3 lead late against the Phillies. The Cardinals trailing the Phillies by 1 game in the wild card. The Phillies lose, the Cardinals win. The Cardinals are tied for the second wild card. How about that?
A 3-1 pitch. 3-2. Took some off it on the 3-1.
Off-speed pitch looked like a changeup that sailed on it.
Three-two pitch. DeYoung, little bouncer, left side. Nice play. But that they start the runners on the 3-2, and in doing so may have avoided a double play. fifth of 6 Academy Sports and Outdoor Autograph Nights tomorrow. Tyler O'Neill will sign autographs for fans 15 and under. Scott Terry, Kerry Robinson, they'll be here. Signed for fans of all ages in the new Budweiser Terrace at Busch Stadium. Visit Cardinals.com/promotions.
So in the strategy and the conversation with Mike Schilt and his coaches and his players about running more, there has to be an understanding that you have to make contact. We can't strike out 10 times a game and run into a strike them out, throw them out 2 times a night. We've got to shorten our swing, put the ball in play, and that's what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. Strikeouts are down, and the double plays are also down. 2 runners in scoring position because Mike Schilt started the runners.
Love it. Regardless of what happens in this inning, I think from a fan's perspective, you're watching a team that's proactive,
yes,
not reactive. And you mentioned 1980 baseball, a little sprinkle of that. You ask any fan that watched the 1980s, some of their best baseball memories. It was fun. The 1-0 pitch.
So you have the fun of that team, and we're going to be honoring the guy who is the king of fun. Well, I guess Whitey Herzog's the king of fun. We'll call Vince Coleman the Prince of Fun. And we're going to be honoring him on Saturday as the new Cardinal Hall of Famer. But in 2011, the kind of connection there is a team that just kept winning late, and we're 10+ games out in August and just kept winning, put together a streak at the right time. And now, how long will this streak last? Who knows?
The 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Jerko leads the club with a .351 average. Runners in scoring position. Now you would think he's got the green light.
I'd let him swing.
If he gets a fastball, it might be 4-0.
Not reactive. That would be a proactive call.
Boy, he ambushes fastballs. 3-1. A 3-1 pitch now coming to Jed Jerko. Big gap left center field. Here she comes. 3-2.
Just couldn't wait long enough. Bottom drops out. Bit of an off-speed delivery. Really changing speeds this inning. When he gets in trouble, he's not throwing harder, he's throwing slower and trying to get the batters to get themselves out.
And the 3-2 pitch. Hit him. Hit by the pitch, and now the bases are loaded. Reminder, you can tweet the troops at FS Midwest. Hashtag Cards for Troops. Tell you what, this might be the guy you want at the plate. Colton Wong is locked in.
He's 5 for his last 7, and that includes lining out to the shortstop Turner. He hit it right on the nose, right to him. I like him at the plate right now.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch to Colton Wong. A strike. Inning started with a walk by Molina. He was erased. Base hit by Martinez. Ozuna, fielder's choice. Jerko hit by a pitch. And they are loaded up for Colton Wong. Oh, 2. What a second half it has been. Wong had reached safely prior to that lineout his previous 7 plate appearances. A home run hit last night, his 8th of the year. The 0-2 pitch. And a fly ball lifted into shallow left field. The catch is made. Cardinals strand the bases loaded. This one's for you. We head back to Kuwait after the timeout. Captain Jim Trout from USO Camp Bering, and his parents Stephen and Mary are with us. And there's your son. Mary, I'll start with you. The emotions of seeing your son.
Yeah.
I just love him.
Hi, Jim. You're looking good.
Love you.
Can't wait till you get home and your whole crew.
Good to see you, son.
Yeah,
I love
good
you.
To see you, parents. Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad.
How often do you get to visit with your son on a daily basis?
Usually I email him about every couple weeks. So I leave the opportunity to his wife and his daughters.
Sure.
So his free time. So I know he's busy, and I'd rather they get to communicate more than I do.
Understood.
Because he loves his 2 daughters and his wife. So.
Galbert makes the play. Mary, I can't get you to look at me, and that's okay. You're looking at your son, and I want you to continue to do that. That's okay. You can look at that monitor here to my left. When you see your son, what are the emotions that are going through you right now on a night like tonight?
Well, I'm just very proud of him, of everything he has accomplished and his goals that he has set for himself. He has succeeded exceptionally. I'm very proud of him.
Captain, I'll ask you, when you see Mom and Dad, what's going through your mind?
You know, it's wonderful to see him here at game day. It's been a while since we communicated like via voice. We do a lot of emailing, so it's just great to see him. I'm looking forward to being home. Hopefully, Pops can throw something on the grill. I set some oats and get together here pretty soon.
I'm going to make your rhubarb pie.
Well, I understand. I got a note before you came in here. You stored frozen
rhubarb
pie, so you have you've got the captain's favorite ready for him when he gets home.
Yes, definitely.
I didn't mean to spoil the surprise, but that's awesome. A night like this, what's it like for you up there with the families of many of the men and women that are serving overseas?
It's a true joy to see everybody. And the feeling of family and knowing that it won't be long, that all the loved ones should be back home safe. So we look forward to it.
A lot of times we visit with either a husband or a wife of someone that's deployed. From a mom's perspective, is it gut-wrenching day after day?
I think about him every day. I do, and I pray for him and the whole troop.
Captain, for you, talking to your daughters and your wife, how often do you get a chance to communicate with them as well? Is it mostly by email, or do you get the chance to visually see them?
We do FaceTime. We try to do FaceTime at least once a week. My daughters are 5 and 3. So my daughter just started kindergarten here yesterday. So we stay in touch weekly, and it's really great to see them and see how they've grown over the past 9 months. But yeah, we stay in contact quite regularly.
What's the morale like with the troops, knowing that you're not too far away from probably coming home?
Yeah, the soldiers here are in good mood. They're really excited. They're really excited for this event, and they're really excited to get home. And I know the supporters back there at Bush and back home, all the families are ready for us to be home.
Captain, what's it like to watch baseball with your fellow men and women in the armed forces?
It's great. We haven't had the opportunity to watch too many games. As you know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning here, so getting up bright and early to watch a game is few and far between for us. So it's wonderful to watch a game and see the Cardinals make this stretch run and hopefully claim this wild card position so we can watch some playoff baseball once we get home.
Now, Dad, I was told that your son was a pretty good baseball player growing up.
Yeah, when he was younger, he could drop. He was a pitcher, and he dropped down and throw a sidearm, kind of like Candelaria.
Oh, sure.
Would do, until he broke his collarbone.
And that was it.
Yeah, he did that playing tag on the playground. But he got to meet Bob Gibson, and he was my hero as a kid. That was at the old Bush in the Sports Hall of Fame when it was underneath.
Sure.
And I was kind of tongue twisted, and I said, "Yeah, my son broke his collarbone pitching." And he said, "How did he do that?" And I said, "Oh, he wasn't pitching. He was running around on the playground."
What a thrill, though, to meet the great Bob Gibson.
Yeah. True inspiration.
Another pitch to Harper down, and it's 2-2. An evening like this, you mentioned that you're with other families that are out there. Can you give us an idea what they're experiencing too, and maybe some of the conversations that are going on?
I think they're very excited to see their loved ones. I know people have been looking and have had signs.
Yes.
And they're all very much looking forward to having them back home.
Absolutely.
So it's been almost 9 months, but some days it seems longer, some days it seems shorter. And it seems like the closer to the end, the more excited you get. Because I've been excited here for the last couple of weeks to be at the game and get the opportunity to see the guys.
Captain Trout, is everybody looking for their signs and loved ones as we pan the crowd?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as they see someone they know, the crowd erupts when we're watching here, and I know everybody's looking intently, trying to find their supporters there, their families. We have quite a few soldiers that have newborns. I know we have at least one at the game for Specialist Bridges, so I know we're looking intently to see the supporters there, and their soldiers here are really excited.
Captain Jim Trout with us from Kuwait. Mom and Dad here. Did you guys take your son to the ballpark a lot? Did you come to Cardinal games?
Yeah, off and on. At the old Bush Stadium, we used to actually sit in the bleachers when they had the seats for $2.
Sure.
And it was very economical having 4 sons. So we had a lot of fun over the years going to the ballpark. So,
well, this must be surreal to be at the ballpark and visiting with your son in Kuwait. Before we go to a timeout, go ahead and say goodbye to your son.
Goodbye,
bye, Jim. We'll see you
soon.
soon. You got to get home, you and your guys, so you can root the Cardinals on to the playoffs and maybe the series.
I love you, honey.
All right. Love you guys.
Captain, thank you. Mom, Dad, thank you. Hang in there, okay?
Okay.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
Such a special night. This one's for you on Fox Sports Midwest. Harrison Bader, the batter for St. Louis, followed by Austin Gomber, and then Matt Carpenter. And Bader on the first pitch pops it foul. Let's check in with Erica.
Dan, I'm with Jamison Bear, the wife of Sergeant David Bear. He's in his second deployment over in Kuwait right now. You are the co-lead of the Family Readiness Group, so you're involved in a lot of these events often. Can you share with us a little bit about your responsibilities?
Basically, we try and keep the families as connected as possible through this deployment and any deployment, stateside duties, anything that involves the soldiers being away from home. We put on family days, and we do Christmas parties, and we're there just for the families whenever they need anything from us. We try and keep us as close to the family as we possibly can.
You're involved with it often, a lot, obviously, but what does it mean to the guys that are stationed overseas that you're able to connect them with their families so often?
Honestly, I don't know what it means to them, but I know from my husband's point of view, I know it means a lot to have the support from his family, not only just me and our children, but his parents, his brother-in-law and sister, and just everybody involved in our family. And I probably assume probably everybody enjoys being connected as much as possible.
Absolutely. And you said that you and your husband are from right here in St. Louis and are big-time Cardinals fans.
Yes, absolutely. We try and come to as many Cardinals games as possible. We love the Cardinals.
When's the last time you guys were able to come to a game here at Busch Stadium together?
We were here probably a little over a year ago, right before everything started gearing up for deployment. Of course, deployment takes precedence over any fun activities we had to go to, but we tried to come before he got started. So
you said your husband is watching over there right now, but he arrived a little late, but he's here now and you guys are watching together.
Yes, he decided he wanted to sleep in today, so.
Well, we thank you for everything that you do, and your husband as well. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Erica, thank you. The double hit by Harrison Bader, now Austin Gomber. I'm trying to recall if we have had a mom on like we just did in the previous inning with Stephen and Mary Trout and their son overseas. And as I mentioned, normally it's a husband or wife, children. That's pushed foul. And for fans that maybe couldn't see it, Mary was wearing glasses. I just hope that everyone understands the importance of this night. She was essentially in tears the entire interview watching her son, and you can understand why. This is such an important night for all of us to recognize the service, the men and women of our armed forces, and what they're doing tonight. We cannot say it enough. To drill it home, thank you. Beautiful bunt by Gomber. Very emotional there with Mary, and
well,
just so lucky to do this night.
It is great to have the parents on as well, and you know, we've had some kids here tonight, and of course spouses, but neighbors, friends, brothers, sisters. You know, it just obviously there are a ton of people that care about everybody that's serving us in the way they do, and we can't have everybody on. We do our best to have a little slice of that, to give them a little slice of what that reunion is going to be like shortly for them when they come home. And we're also thankfully providing a pretty exciting baseball game for them as well. They choose to walk Carpenter intentionally. And this has been a Joe Madden move of late. And teams that haven't walked Matt Carpenter have been wishing they had lately. And what this does is set up the double play with Molina at the plate. And Yachty with his 53 RBIs and 6-game hitting streak. Feel pretty good about him being at the plate right now. for this moment.
Carpenter now tied with Manny Machado for the third longest on-base streak this season at 33. Runners at the corners for Yadier Molina, 1-0 in the bottom of 5. And it gets a strike.
We will be transitioning, Dan, into this game, and we're obviously watching the game, interested in the game, but I just wanted to give a shout out and a thanks to the corporate employers that employ people who work for the National Guard and have to have special allowances for them to serve on weekends and special training days and be deployed from time to time. And we know that there's many things they do, again, in disaster relief and other tense situations that require the National Guard's presence in our state and in surrounding areas, and very much needed. And the employers that allow that and support that and continue to hire them anyway, and realize that they're some of our nation's finest anyway. There's maybe some selfishness in that, which is okay, but we appreciate them going out of their way to employ people who serve us.
One ball and one strike on Yadier Molina. 1-2. Tweet at FS Midwest the hashtag either this one's for you, cards for troops. It was the 9th intentional walk, by the way, issued to Matt Carpenter since the All-Star break. Bryce Harper, 1 time since the break. And a 1-2 pitch to Molina. Ball gets away. Here comes Bader to the plate. Save! And Carpenter to third. Bader has scored in 7 straight. He was flying, no hesitation here.
I'm thinking no, 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 yes, yes, yes. On the slide, he trips up Hellickson. They collide at the same moment, but that's the aggressiveness. Talk about proactive. And you hope Hellickson's okay on the collision as his foot gets caught up with Bader a bit. They're actually checking his right hand.
We're watching the emergence of a fan favorite in Harrison Bader. How can you not enjoy watching the hustle of this young man? The speed, the athleticism, the dives, the dirt, it's all there.
Unfortunate timing for Hellickson, who was trying to beat Bader to the plate. And think about how fast he is to beat Hellickson to the plate. Hellickson's closer. And the minute that ball gets away, he's running to the plate, but Bader's just flying down the line. No hesitation. And a nice round of applause for the Nationals pitcher.
It's a wild pitch and an error on the catcher.
So the ground that Bader makes up and the slide, and just how that ball was not that far from home plate either. Pretty ginger toss on his first toss and second. Boy, Dave Martinez wants him to pitch, doesn't want to go to his bullpen this early, but may have to.
That'll be it. Umpire waving to the bullpen of the Nationals. This will be Suero, who we saw in game 1, and he pitched well. That's it for Hellickson. The speed of Bader. It's taken 2 runs away from the Nationals in center field. He scores another one from third. That are with us night in and night out on Fox Sports Midwest. They have stepped aside tonight to give us more time to visit with troops and their families. Thank you for doing that. This one's for you, 2018. Tommy, again, our director. Bill Cochran, our producer, and you'll see many of the shots from section 268. That's the family and friends of those in Kuwait we've had the chance to visit with tonight.
And there's a lot of work that goes into a telecast every night, Dan. Would you tell me? 30?
Roughly 35, yeah, members of our crew.
Members of our crew. So we mentioned Bill and Tom, but we can't mention 33 more names, but we'd like to.
Wander Suero, 23rd appearance. So 1 out, runner at third. The 2-2. Molina, base hit into right. Carpenter will score. 3-0 Redbirds here in the bottom of the 5th.
And some credit that is a bit belated, but some credit to Matt Carpenter for being on third on the wild pitch so he can score on this ball hit to right field. The infield has to be in. And I know what they're tasting.
Cardinals trying to make it 8 wins in a row and go to 11 games above the 500 mark. A 3-0 lead. Here's Martinez, and what a vicious hack that was from Jose Martinez. You know, we have seen, as you know, some great defenders here in St. Louis. Recent memory. Ozzie Smith. It's Martinez. Pops it up. Foul territory. And the catch made. Tough play. Zimmerman makes it. Scott Rowland, Jimmy Edmonds. And now watching a pretty big sample size now of Harrison Bader. A full season. How good could this young man get?
Can I reach back to Willie McGee in terms of excitement? And I want to reach back to him, not to say he's Willie McGee yet. That would be, well, that would be unfair to him and to Willie McGee. But I mention Willie because they have such a terrific relationship. Willie has seen something in Harrison Bader for, I'm going to say, at least 3 years. I know that when we had some conversations with Willie when he first started coming back coaching, and he was around just some and then more and more and more, we'd ask him about the young talent. He kept saying, Bader, 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 Bader. Wait till you see this guy. Wait till you see him play. I love watching Bader. He's coachable. He's teachable. He works hard. And there is an interesting relationship between those two that I think has respect at the core. Very positive player-coach relationship.
I'll never forget the conversation in San Francisco. Bader had been up one time, and Willie then came and joined the team. And I went to Bader. I said, what did you learn going back down there? He said, base running from Willie McGee. I saw Willie later in the day. I said, who do you like down there? I love this Bader and his base running. You know, and that's what you're talking about, so the synergy between the two.
And it shows that there's no disconnect anywhere.
Right.
You ask a coach, well, what are you working on with the player? And you say A, and you say, well, what are you working on? And he says B.
The strikeout of Ozuna.
Then you know there's a disconnect, but not with those guys.
What a game he's having tonight. We're through 5. This one's for you, 2018 on Fox Sports Midwest. As we go back to Kuwait and the chance to visit with Kelsey Hall. And Kelsey, we were talking during the break. You're all smiles right now. You just told us that family and friends have arrived here at the ballpark, haven't they?
Yes.
And are they excited about this opportunity to come to the ballpark and maybe connect with some others that have family and friends here?
They are. They're really excited.
Tell me what it's like for you and some of the other troops watching this game tonight.
It's a really good experience, and we're all glad to be here and have the opportunity to see everyone we love.
Is it a situation where you're all Cardinal fans, so you get a chance to take in a little bit of the fun here in St. Louis on this night?
Yes, we are all Cardinals fans. They better be.
Yeah, you better be.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have a favorite player?
No, I like them all.
You like them all. That's a good answer, too. So who's here with your family at the ballpark, and maybe we can try to find them in the crowd tonight?
Marvin, my boyfriend, and my son is there, and his big sister is there.
What has the experience been like overseas for you? Can you try to give our fans what it's like?
It's been a good experience, learning a lot about myself, and overall it's good.
Sure. Next pitch to Harper is ripped out to right field. And that's Martinez cutting it off, and his throw into second base is offline. So Kelsey, when you guys are watching the game right now, what's the reactions going on behind the scenes? Are you more interested in trying to find family and friends, or is it about getting a little slice of home and watching a ball game?
It's all seeing family and friends and watching the game. We all wish we were there.
Well, you'll be here soon enough, won't you?
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your service, and we'll continue to pan the crowd, and hopefully we find your loved ones as we go along, okay?
All right, thank you.
And would you like to say a shout out to anybody that's watching throughout Cardinal Nation here tonight?
Yes, I want to say hi, Mister. Mommy misses you. Happy birthday, Anna. And hi, Marvin. I love you all.
Kelsey, thank you. God bless. And
terrific.
Get home safely.
Thank you.
It's Kelsey Hall. Her score 3-0, and we'll pan the crowd and definitely try to find her family and friends. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Ryan Zimmerman. That's fouled back. That last statement, happy birthday, miss you, love you all, take it for granted when you can do that here in the States. Get in your car, drive over, see your mom, see your loved ones, see your family and friends. Puts it in perspective. Austin Gomber, the strikeout of Zimmerman. And those family and friends are in section 268. And the troops are in Kuwait. We've hooked up with them tonight. 35th Engineer Brigade at USO Camp Buehring, Kuwait.
I think they've had some coffee since the start of the broadcast, which again, it's 3 o'clock. It was 3:15 in Kuwait time, 3:15 a.m. and that was at the start of the game. So they're hanging with us. We appreciate it.
Here's an 0-1 pitch now to Daniel Murphy. Cardinals with a 3-0 lead here in the top of the 6th. 85 pitches for Gomber, and with that, Daniel Ponce de Leon is up and throwing in the Cardinals' pen. Again, you can tweet us, and a reminder, there are troops all over the world watching this ball game tonight. Hashtag Cards for Troops, not just those that we've hooked up with tonight via Skype, but everywhere, aboard ships at sea, countries across the world.
Dan, I mentioned the 35 or so men and women that help put on our telecast on a regular night, but this is not a regular night. There's complexities to this, so we really appreciate all their work. Just the difficulties of getting the audio right and the video right, and the preparation and the connection and the logistics. Very thankful.
That's slicing down the left field line, foul. Two and two the count. Their loved ones were deployed last fall, hopeful coming home this fall. And a 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Counting the days.
Michael A. Taylor coming up. 3 of Gomber's strikeouts tonight have been with runners in scoring position. Fan right there, FaceTime with a military member in Kuwait. Great is that? Strike 1 on Taylor.
Pitch count getting up there for Gomber. He's nearing the end, and Yachty wanted to make sure he took a breather after 2 pretty important strikeouts. Zimmerman, Murphy back to back, but with Ponce de Leon ready, don't make a mistake here. Finish the job.
Did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's just not getting Gomber's curveball at the bottom of the zone. That's a strike.
And the 1-1 fouled back. And the 1-2 pitch. Missed on the inside corner. Career high is 93 pitches for Gomber. He's at 93 tonight. Three-two pitch to Michael A. Taylor. Fouled back. Telling look at this season by the starters. Innings pitched. That's hit down the right field line and out of play. And another 3-2 pitch. Got him. A strikeout for Gomber. Great work from the lefty. Mission continues. Bought tickets with families of 35th Engineer Brigade. September 15th is our 13th Summer Service Slam Service Project. Teaming up with Fox Sports Midwest, doing some great work in the communities around Missouri. Find out more at foxsportsupports.com. Mention how this is a very special night for so many family and friends, including that man right there that's holding that camera. Phil Nichols is a veteran. And Phil, again, I want to make sure we point and make this very important to all of us. We appreciate your hard work throughout the season, and that guy works extremely hard, but he was willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice, and Phil Nichols was a part of our military. And Phil, we love you and thank you for always what you do for us night in and night out. From the camera of Phil Nichols, and you know that this is a very special night for him. He always gives you everything he's got, but tonight it's special. He understands it's better than most. Two balls and a strike on Paul DeYoung. Now, Phil, get back to work. Get us some great shots. And you know he will. Hashtag Cards for Troops at FS Midwest. And the 3-1 lifted in the air to left field for the catch. Soto. Again, we thank more of our sponsors for stepping aside, giving us more time to visit with the troops and their families. From section 268.
For those interested, we gave the score in the details earlier, but the Cubs beat Milwaukee today, and the Phillies have now jumped ahead of the Red Sox 7-3. And the Phillies really the team the Cardinals are chasing in the wild card. But you know, Dan, you just keep winning.
Keep winning.
And you don't have to worry about it.
2 outs, and here's Colton Wong. It has been a remarkable turnaround under Mike Schilt. Deserves a ton of credit. Implementing quickly this turnaround. Better defense, more aggressive. The offense approach. Don't get me wrong, it's the players that do it.
Yeah. But I think Mike was just, and again, Mike was around for the first half. I think we just have to keep mentioning that there was input there, and but I think he realized that we can't keep doing things the same way and expect different results.
Definition of insanity.
I have a different definition, and that's sitting next to you for about 6 months. But
I would agree with that too.
They're both true.
You know, in Webster's, they got a couple of little different ways to define it.
Yeah, that would be meaning 3.
See Cardinal baseball broadcast booth.
Yeah, but it's a fun kind of lunacy that we have going on up here. We enjoy every minute of it.
It's the best.
And I have not found a person at the ballpark, and this is not hyperbole. Ushers, front office people, promotions people, guards, people parking the cars, players, coaches, front office. Everybody has an elevated move at the moment. All of our crew, you and I. It is just a unique moment in this season. And, you know, it's got to start at the top.
The 2-2. And Wong picks up a base hit.
Boy, they gave him a lot of room up the middle, didn't they?
Sure did, and they played him that way tonight. I don't remember that in games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
As they shifted Trey Turner towards second base and Murphy towards the line. And now it's Bader. 2 outs and a runner at first.
Big hole up the middle to the right of the second base bag. That's a backhanded play by a second baseman playing his normal position. Colton Wong throws himself out.
I would say for Colton Wong, he's able to get in front of it, not backhanded. Well, you got a 3-0 lead. Good speed at first. Cardinals will pinch hit with, for the moment, Greg Garcia at the on-deck circle. Can be aggressive in these spots, and Mike Shildt has been that way from day one when he took over. Movement puts so much pressure on the defense.
And it's interesting. I think the kind of the middle ground that Mike Shildt has found, that the Cardinals, when they try to steal, they'd get thrown out too much and then they'd stop running. So it's not about stealing. It's about getting movement and swinging the bat. Hit and runs. Running on 3-2 counts.
He is running. Throw down to second. In there safely.
The confidence in the running game is extreme right now for the Cardinals. And Colton Wong's now joining in on the fun.
The Cardinals now 15 stolen bases in 27 games under Mike Shildt. They had 33 stolen bases in 93 games under Mike Matheny.
And they've only been thrown out a couple of times, as I recall. Four times thrown out under Mike Shildt. Still a good stolen base percentage.
Here's a 1-1. And it's a base hit out to left. Here comes Wong. It's a 2-out rally. Wong, the single, a stolen base. Bader with 2 outs delivers. And the Cardinals are rolling.
And hold on to your hats. Bader may go too here in a moment, but he's got to do this first. Colton Wong got himself in scoring position. The Cardinals score a run, Dan, with 2 hits. There are times when the running game isn't working that it would take 4 hits to score a run.
And Collins coming on. Saw him last night. Dave Martinez going to his pen. They are proactive, not reactive. And they've got a lead. 4-0 in the bottom of the 6th.
thank all the people overseas and homeland just for your support. You allow us to play a game that we love and the freedoms that we get to enjoy every day for your sacrifice and support. Just thank you and be safe.
Well put. Mike Schilt putting Wong in motion. The stolen base. Bader a 2-out hit. And we'll see with the lefty on the mound what kind of read Bader can get here.
Well, we saw he has a good move. We saw him in this series already, and we'll see it.
Strike to Greg Garcia.
I was imagining a scenario where Bader might steal a base and Mike Schilt might pull Garcia and bring in a right-handed bat if he's successful stealing the base.
0-2.
Oh, and 2, Dan. Why not? Hitters down in the count. Press the action.
A little bigger lead this time for Bader. Back in safely.
I think he's going.
He's got that look, doesn't he? Sometimes when you watch Bader, he's going back on both feet, back and forth very quickly.
Yeah.
Gives you an idea that he might be running. Kind of like that. Not running here, and the pitch is high.
I used to pick up, Dan, as a left-handed pitcher. You can see the runner, and I found it to be an art trying to figure out when they were going to go. And I picked up with certain runners that they would actually relax more, as if they were trying to communicate to me they weren't going, and I could tell they were. And that's when I give them the best move.
You had a great move.
Picked off a lot of guys.
Yes, you did.
Gave up a lot of hits. I needed to have a good move.
Here's a 1-2. Strikeout of Garcia. The Cardinals, we talk about it, motion and activity, the energy, the excitement. A 2-out hit by Wong. Steals second base. 2-out hit by Bader. They extend the lead. We head to the 7th. It's 4-0 St. Louis. Up on Sunday, presented by AT&T, Cardinals.com/promotions, and part of Hall of Fame weekend, the Dizzy Dean Watch. I'm working on the. Don't worry,
you're going to get me one, and you're going to get me one.
I'll do. I got a couple
I'm
things.
I'm going to be doing pre and post on that day, and I'll wear the watch too. But I'm going to be listening intently to make sure you have your dizzy sayings throughout the broadcast. I can't wait. Daniel Ponce de Leon is the new Cardinal pitcher.
So I got to give you the sayings. 3 to 4 you mentioned.
At least 3. 3's the over/under. You got to be more than 3.
Okay, and I have to get you a watch.
I'd like one, yeah.
It's a done deal.
Maybe the one that Al threw at the camera I could use. I wonder if it's still running. It doesn't have to run. It'll just look good. That's fine.
Well, you have an issue with bobbleheads. You tear the heads off of those, and Al breaks watches.
Well, I'm not sure I deserve that reputation, but I seem to have inherited that, yes.
And earned it.
Maybe.
Daniel Ponce de Leon in relief of Gomber. Going back to his last start, Gomber now 11 consecutive scoreless innings. Again, a reminder that you can tweet at us for the troops at FS Midwest. Hashtag cards for troops. That's section 268, the family and friends of our troops in Kuwait that we've hooked up with tonight. And if you send those tweets, our game is going worldwide to our military. Specifically, the 35th Engineer Brigade, Missouri Army National Guard, stationed at Fort Leonard Wood. They're at USO Camp Buring, Kuwait. The 1-2. It was interesting in talking with Mike Schild about Ponce de Leon and his bullpen. He said Daniel is learning how to get loose, and we've mentioned that you're a former starter, now you're in the bullpen getting loose, and there is an art to that. As you know, you were a swing guy and did just about everything in this game from a pitcher's perspective. And you also mentioned that Daniel will be used in more traditional bullpen roles, meaning he's not just a long man. You know, they feel they can get multiple innings out of him. Tyson Ross would be another one. Webb, who was just sent down. Brett Cecil was brought up, but Webb would do that for them.
I think you have movable, interchangeable pieces for the first time in a while, but all the pieces, including Shreve, can go a couple of innings. They have weapons to go against the opposite-handed batter, so it's not just a specialist situation.
Love there by Jerko.
I thought Shreve did a terrific job last night. He went an inning and 2/3.
I get asked all the time. The Cardinals have cleaned it up defensively in a big way. I mean, it's a different looking team defensively. Bader certainly helps in center. He's been outstanding. Wong is playing every day. He's one of the top defensive second basemen in the game. You have a Gold Glover behind the plate, but there's others that have taken their game to another level. And I'm curious if you think that's because of accountability inside the clubhouse and the tone that's set by Mike Schild and the players collectively.
Well, I think there's two things. I think there is a renewed sense of the players creating their accountability among each other in their baseball talk meetings that they have every day, that a coach facilitates. That's one thing, and I think that's really helpful. I also think there's a synergistic relationship between good pitching and good defense that you almost can't describe and explain, but you know it when you see it, where the pitching gets hot, the defense is right along with it, and sometimes the defense leads the way and the pitching gets better. They go hand in hand. It's hard to separate them because they're both defensive things. Guys make good plays for you. The pitchers want to do better, and they don't have as many tense situations. Don't throw as many pitches. So when they work quickly, get a lot of outs, the defense is sharper. It just works together in a pretty extraordinary way when it's right.
2-2 the count.
I had a chance, Dan, today to talk to Daniel Ponce de Leon and ask him about his college. He went to multiple colleges, and
it's unbelievable.
And one of the colleges that he went to.
There's our troops in Kuwait enjoying the action.
was Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Right. And so I said, so what was the plan there? And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you were going there for a purpose? And he said, yeah. My friend's friend was the pitching coach, and they had a good baseball program, and it was in Florida. And I said, so you were going to study? He said, no. My friend's friend was the pitching coach. They had a good baseball program, and it was in Florida, and it was a chance for me to pitch and play. And why wouldn't you want to pitch in Florida? So
makes all the sense in the world.
It does. He was funny about it. He really was. He said, if you're asking me, did I want to be a pilot? No.
Did I want to pitch in
Yes.
Florida? Yes.
I thought that was
funny.
Amazingly frank.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike on Trey Turner. Strikeout, a ground out, and a triple. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. And that pitch is popped up. Another shout out to the troops on this special night here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Aloha, this is Colton Wong on the St. Louis Cardinals. I just want to say a special thank you to all military out there. Thank you for everything you do for us and for allowing us to live a free life.
Sponsors we want to thank for really stepping aside tonight for this special night. This one's for you. This year, the 11th Cardinals This One's For You broadcast allows us to visit and link with our troops, their families, friends tonight. The second lefty out of the pen is Matt Grace. 37th appearance for the lefty. Cardinals, by the way, if they can hold on and pick up a win, not only do they keep pace in the Central Division, the Cardinals then would have won, we're still a ways away, but 8 in a row, and it would be another series win, something to keep in mind.
They have 6 in a row. We mentioned that earlier, and some of those early series wins were against very good teams, including the Chicago Cubs. Colorado Rockies in that list. And 11-2 was the other number we mentioned in the month of August coming into this game. Spectacular.
Oh boy, Carpenter hit by a pitch. It's Chris Conroy from the Cardinals medical team out.
maybe the top of the hand. Checking all the knuckles at this point, and boy, that's a guy you want to keep in the lineup in the worst way.
That's going to be it. You know, we've talked about all the things in a positive way that the Cardinals are doing this season and this great run. Not to be overlooked, maybe the MVP and Matt Carpenter. He is a huge, that's an understatement, huge part of the uptick for the Cardinals. There's some concern right now here at the ballpark, and you can understand why.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having a most important X-ray taken soon.
Strike to Molina. Nationals have Soto, Rendon, and Harper, and you also may have seen the stare Mike Schilt at the opposition, the pitcher.
For those who may not have seen it, there's been a couple of those moments in baseball in the last 24 hours where tempers, and we talk about the dog days of August, long into the season, you start to just feel like a little more tense and a lot on the line. The Dodgers and the Giants had a little bench clearing conversation, at least last night. If you watch it, there's a couple of angry players in that. Yasiel Puig, part of it.
And a grounder. Turner. Terrific play.
Oh.
After they checked on Carpenter, watch Mike Schilt. Less than happy.
Well, and if you look at the face of Brian Snitker today when Acuna was hit with the first pitch of a game after being on a home run binge by Urena of the Marlins, he had a little bit nastier stare than that and had a lot of words along with it. And that was the other problem that happened today.
Helmet flying off. Jose Martinez. Anytime that a player is hit in that area, the wrist or the top of the hand, all those small bones you think about. Pitch taken low. So Patrick Wisdom at second base with one out. Cardinals leading 4-0. The pitch to Martinez is a ball. We don't have it for you. The post-game show, hopefully by the time they get off the air, can update you on the status of Matt Carpenter, and that's front and center right now. Martinez with a drive into right center at the wall, and it's caught. Michael A. Taylor with a terrific catch.
good at bat and even better on the other end as he climbs the wall. And it would have been a home run, absolutely. Perfect timing, really under control too. He had some good speed to get there, and all you could do is tip your helmet.
So 2 outs and the runner at third, and Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna takes a ball in the dirt. Cardinals earlier tonight scoring on a wild pitch.
Time to find an ATM? Again? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
Ozuna, right center, and Michael A. Taylor with the catch. Outstanding play in center field to take a home run away. Also had that play by Turner. Of concern, though, the hand, wrist of Matt Carpenter. Jose Martinez, Patrick Wisdom stays in the ball game at first base. A special night. This one's for you. Hundreds of family and friends at Busch Stadium in section 268. Tonight we have hooked up with the 35th Engineer Brigade, Missouri Army National Guard, stationed Fort Leonard Wood. And tonight they're in Kuwait, and for them early in the morning. Here's Juan Soto. It's been early in his career, but 15 2/3 innings for Daniel Ponce de Leon and a total of 4 hits allowed. Here's a 1-1. A liner caught. What a catch. Pulled the young and short. Timed it beautifully.
By my count, this is his 3rd plus play in the last week, and I mean plus. A couple of line drives. He had a double play in this series with Bryce Harper at the plate. He robbed Soto this time. He can't believe it. He doesn't show a lot of emotion, does he, DeYoung?
Not at all. He had to time that perfectly, and he did. Strike to Anthony Rendon. Oh, 1 pitch. Into center. Here comes Bader. And does not get that one. Gets it on a hop. DeYoung at the plate. We think about power. He's had that here recently, but also that's a key play in this series, a double play in game 1. Then this is last night in the 9th inning. And moments ago, the great catch it short. Here's Bryce Harper with 1 out and a runner at first base. Cardinals with a lead of 4-0.
I'm somewhat laughing to myself, Dan, thinking about the fact that you think Harrison Bader had a chance to catch that ball. I mean, he's not Superman.
Just thinking everything he can get to.
Close.
Yeah. And a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Bryce Harper. Most of the soldiers in Kuwait available to watch the game. 4 of the soldiers who were featured in the 2014 This One's For You. We were in Afghanistan that night. An evening that we hold in such high regard. Thank you to the men and women watching. And hopefully you've had a chance to catch a family member or friend in the seats tonight. The 2-1 pitch to Bryce Harper. Reminder that Pride Night is coming up. That'll be Friday. Cardinals.com/theme. 3-1 the count on Bryce Harper. Short lead at first. And Harper lines it into left field for a base hit. So just like the ball game, first against the Nationals and again last night and here tonight, little charge being put together by the Nats.
It was the 9th inning in game 1. It was the 8th inning last night. It's the 8th inning potentially here. And watching that at bat of Bryce Harper, he just does not hit many baseballs lightly, does he?
No, sir. There is stretching going on in the Cardinal pen, but no one up and throwing yet. You have to wonder about the availability of Bud Norris. Jordan Hicks was the closer last night. The Cardinals have 2 mound visits remaining. The Nationals at 5. At FS Midwest for the troops. And again, not just those in Kuwait, but all across the world watching tonight. Hashtag Cards for Troops. Here's Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman, and it could be 2. DeYoung. Wong. Double play. Coming up, Cardinals.com/promotions. That's on Friday. Milwaukee will be here. Big series, the Cardinals and the Brewers, beginning Friday night. The mystery BP pullover. It's courtesy of Coca-Cola and the good folks at Schnucks. Second inning for the lefty Grace. We're at the bottom of the 8th, 4-0 Cardinals. They've out hit the Nationals 6-5. During that commercial break, Rick contacted a member of the Cardinals PR staff to try to get word on Matt Carpenter, but still no word yet. One ball and 2 strikes. Chris Conroy there. Just got done speaking with Mike Schilt, and hopefully we'll hear good news on Carpenter. 1-2 the count on Paul DeYoung.
I have admiration in my heart for our troops at the moment, and I have a pit in my stomach thinking about Carpenter right now.
Speak for all of us. We get word now that Carpenter X-rays negative.
My stomach feels a lot better.
I bet. You got some Pepto-Bismol.
And my heart still feels warmed.
Oh, that's good news. X-rays negative. 2-2 the count on Paul DeYoung. Outfield straight away. They're very deep.
Bello Cooling and Heating, #1 rated. Call now for special offers. Bello, answer the bell.
Count is full on the Cardinals shortstop. Renee Bronaugh brought her 5 kids up here in the booth. Sergeant Kevin Bronaugh in Kuwait. Captain James Trout, part of our telecast, his mom and dad kind enough to join us. Kelsey Hall over in Kuwait. It's not an easy thing to do. We asked them to come on the air and share their thoughts on what is a very emotional night for them, and our sincere thanks goes out to them, the family members, friends here, most importantly the soldiers watching across the world. Thank you. A walk to Paul DeYoung, and now it's Jed Jerko. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals looking for some insurance. Copper out of telecast presented by the Cardinals may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. This might be my favorite note that was given to me tonight. I love this. Remind Captain Jim Trout that Mary, his mother, has frozen, stored up, homegrown rhubarb so she can make her son his favorite rhubarb pie, ready for him when he gets home. As she was up here with tears in her eyes and tears rolling down her cheeks, seeing her son for the first time in months, as we later found out.
Baseball, hot dogs, and rhubarb pie.
You got it. Oh-2 spoiled. Captain Trout sitting there in the far left, waiting for that rhubarb pie. 0-2 the count on the Cardinal third baseman, Jed Jerko. And Jerko launches one out to left, and it is caught by Soto. Nice play. The ball that was tattooed out to left. Well, that's a good play again by the Nationals.
It's been a pretty good defensive series overall, both teams. The Nationals are second in the National League in fielding percentage. They don't make a lot of errors, but they've made some nice plays too. In the outfield at third base with Rendon. And you can add this one to the list.
Runner at first and one out. Here's Colton Wong. And strike one. That's inside. From the perspective of a fan of the Nationals, right now you're wondering what's gone wrong. If they lose tonight, they go below the 500 mark with a team that has a lineup offensively loaded. They can play defense. Turner's made some great plays. Taylor in center tonight. The emergence of Soto in left. Bryce Harper in right. Ryan Zimmerman, a top veteran, along with Rendon.
85 stolen bases as a team.
And yet it could be a game under 500 after tonight. Little roller up the first base line and foul. Reminder, note the start time tomorrow at 5:30. Game 4 of this series. 6:15 with the first pitch. Here's a 1-2 instead of check on the runner.
I've been thinking the last couple of days about Mike Schilt taking over this team, and I have the feeling of the enthusiasm of first week of spring training, first couple of weeks of spring training. Everything's new. You're starting over. You have hope. You have promise. It's like we've returned to that again, Dan.
But he's done it in the middle of his season with limited time.
Oh, I get it immediately. I mean, so the reset, which is a word that's been coming out of the Cardinal front office, and I think that's a reasonable word to use, has worked. No question about it. But orchestrating a reset is complicated. You can't, as we mentioned earlier, keep doing things the same way, but you also don't want to undermine everything. So it's tricky business.
I call it refreshing.
Well, I'm just going to call it 18-9. Best managerial start for a Cardinal ever.
And regardless how the season winds up, it has given fans hope again.
Oh,
it's given fans a glimpse at some of the youth in this team, and you know, who knows where it's going to wind up, but man, it's been fun to watch. And the 0-2. Bader, base hit into right. How about that 0-2 swing?
Three-hit night for Bader. That is a hit he would not have had a couple of weeks ago. He just kept continuing to have the big swing. Now it's short. Bat to the ball. Almost a half swing. It's almost a punch shot.
All have been done with 2 strikes for Bader, the 3 hits. That's a ball that he pulls off of 3 weeks ago. So Daniel Ponce de Leon, Cardinals are going to try to get 3 more outs out of him, which is what they did the other time he was in. Now John Gant hit a home run last night.
Does Bader getting his 3rd hit make up for your anger that he didn't make that play in center field?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with it now. I expect him to do everything. Okay? Get off my back.
Fair enough. Where's his cape?
My favorite shot tonight of the pictures that we capture was that little girl, and she's holding there what essentially is a pillow. And that time she was still, I'd say, probably 3/4 of the way awake. And the pillow was a picture of her father that she holds so tightly right there. Some amazing scenes and moments and emotions tonight. We thank the troops, thank our crew, thank the family and friends in Section 268 tonight. This one's for you. Daniel Ponce de Leon in his 3rd inning of work. 4-0 our score. Daniel Murphy at the plate. And the first pitch is out of play.
Dan, we talked about the ability of Ponce de Leon and others to be able to go multiple innings. And this is such a huge advantage for Mike Schilt, and he's using him in that way to say, I'm not going to use 4 pitchers when I only need to use 2. I think if more teams would pitch that way, you know, we were told that, you and I, a couple of years ago by Clint Hurdle. They got a bunch of relievers in their bullpen 2 years ago. They had a terrific staff, and they stacked it with 4 or 5 guys that were starters with the idea that they would go 3 or 4 innings like the Cardinals can do now, and it worked for them.
That's driven out to deep right field, and the Nationals get on the board. A long home run hit by Daniel Murphy. His 6th of the year, and the Cuts a lead now to 4-1. No doubter hit there.
He continues to be a Cardinal killer, doesn't he?
I believe that's now, 17 straight games that he's hit in against the Cardinals. There's Michael A. Taylor. Took a home run away earlier. Matt Adams has moved to the on-deck circle. And the 0-1. Nothing at 2. It's one thing that Daniel does for the most part, pounds the strike zone. All these young guys have come up, and sometimes you see a young pitcher, as you know, Rick, they pick. Right. They're not aggressive.
Right.
There's a fly ball. Long way to go for Wong, and it'll be O'Neill, and he can't come up with it. It is a fair ball, and Taylor winds up at second base.
Boy, that's a bad break. That ball was really a tough play for all three of them, and it couldn't have been in a worse spot. Just out of the reach of O'Neill. Probably could have caught it. He actually was able to get to it. Just didn't make the play. He was close enough to it to make the play. Would have been a tough one, clearly.
Bud Norris is up and throwing in the Cardinals' pen. Nice round of applause here for Matt Adams. Third consecutive night the Cardinal fans have done that for Adams.
I think Yadi's going to use this as a kind of a dual chance here. Maybe three different things. He wants to give his pitcher some time. He wants to give Norris some time. And he wants to give Adams some time.
Crowd tonight of 36,696, 36696. Still some intrigue here at the ballpark for game number 3 of this series, and the closer Bud Norris coming on when we come back.
And to all the military out there, I thank you so much for your service and everything that you do for this country. Thank you.
Ursa Bader has put on a show tonight. 3 hits, diving catch in center, scored on a wild pitch. Checking out his charts as Bud Norris into the ball game. Appearance number 56 as we get late into the season. And the batter will be Matt Adams. Michael A. Taylor with a double. He's at second base and nobody out. Cardinals up 4-1. Saw Norris in game 1. Limped off the mound, did not look comfortable. With a game that the Cardinals eventually came back to walk it off. trying to make it 8 wins in a row. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I was at an event today with Bud, and he explained the transition of going from a starter and a reliever. He went from a high fastball, curveball pitcher to a sinker cutter pitcher, and going from the rotation to the bullpen. But he's having a blast being a reliever. Really learned a lot last year, got that closer's role, understands that it's a different place to be. It's something that so many pitchers who get into that 9th inning talk about. He spoke about it today, the need to slow things down and control it yourself. And he said he's having those conversations with some of those young pitchers in the big leagues. The game can speed up on you, and you have to find ways to slow it down.
Here's a 2-1 pitch to Matt Adams. 2-2. I would think the bullpen, and in particular closing, suits the mindset and the personality of Bud Norris.
Yes.
Coming to the ballpark every day and a chance to compete.
Absolutely. There's a lot of young guys out there.
2-2 the count. The pinch hitter, Matt Adams. Popped up left side. Jerko over with room and makes the play. Big first out. Hashtag cards for troops at FS Midwest. Matt Wieters has had a good series. This is a matchup that Bud Norris had in game 1, and Wieters got to him. That's to the backstop, and Taylor to third base.
I'm sure Bud Norris would love to keep Michael A. Taylor from scoring, but the game is at the plate right now. Get outs. Michael Taylor can't beat you, but the guys that follow can.
Two 2-0 the count. Two and one.
Danny, I said it last night.
You like watching Bryce Harper hit, just not tonight anymore.
I can wait till tomorrow. I'm not sure I want to watch Soto hit again either.
Good point. The 2-1 pitch, Bud Norris. Fly ball. Ozuna, that'll score a run. However, that's out number 2. Cuts a lead to 4-2. Taylor scores. 7 hits aside and a 4-2 Cardinal lead here in the top of the 9th. Fans here getting excited about the final out. You know the troops are as well. Two outs. Trey Turner at the plate. Strike one. Cardinals trying to go to 11 games above the 500 mark. And the 0-1. Fly ball. Who else? Bader in center. 11 games above 500. 8 in a row for the Cardinals, and they hold on 4-2. They'll look for the sweep tomorrow.
Cardinals are playing terrific baseball. Gomber goes to 3-0. We get to share the game with our friends serving us in Kuwait. This one was absolutely for you.
The annual This One's For You telecast. Thank you to our troops. We can't say it enough. We appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you and get home safely. Cardinals win it 4-2.